Question 166. How can a company configure automatic, asynchronous copying of objects in Amazon S3 buckets across regions? Now, the options are: Option 1. By configuring multi-master replication. Option 2. Using cross-region replication. Option 3. Using lifecycle actions. Option 4. This is done by default by AWS. And the correct answer is Option 2. Using cross-region replication. Explanation. Cross-region replication enables automatic, asynchronous copying of objects across buckets in different AWS regions. Buckets configured for cross-region replication can be owned by the same AWS account or by different account. Using cross-region replication is the correct answer. This is done by default by AWS is incorrect, as this is not true. By configuring multi-master replication is incorrect. Multi-master replication is not something you can do with Amazon S3. Using lifecycle actions is incorrect. Lifecycle actions cannot be configured to move to another storage class in a different region. Next question. Which of the following is not a best practice for protecting the root user of an AWS account? Now the options are: Option 1. Don't share the root user credentials. Option 2. Remove administrative permissions. Option 3. Enable MFA. Option 4. Lock away the AWS root user access keys. And the correct answer is Option 2. Remove administrative permissions. Explanation. You cannot remove administrative permissions from the root user of an AWS account. Therefore, you must protect the account through creating a complex password, enabling MFA, locking away access keys, and not sharing the account details. Remove administrative permissions is the correct answer. Don't share the root user credential is incorrect, as this is a best practice. Enable MFA is incorrect, as this is a best practice. Lock away the AWS root user access keys is incorrect, as this is also a best practice. Next question. How can a database administrator reduce operational overhead for a MySQL database? Now the options are: Option 1. Migrate the database onto AWS Lambda. Option 2. Use AWS CloudFormation to manage operations. Option 3. Migrate the database onto an EC2 instance. Option 4. Migrate the database onto an Amazon RDS instance. And the correct answer is Option 4. Migrate the database onto an Amazon RDS instance. Explanation. Amazon RDS is a managed database service that supports MySQL. The DBA can reduce operational overhead by moving to RDS and having less work to do to manage the database. Migrate the database onto an Amazon RDS instance is the correct answer. Migrate the database onto an EC2 instance is incorrect. Migrating onto an EC2 instance will not reduce operational overhead, as the DBA will still need to manage both the operating system and the database. Migrate the database onto AWS Lambda is incorrect. AWS Lambda provides functions as a service. It therefore a compute service, not a database service, and cannot be used to run a MySQL database. Use AWS CloudFormation to manage operations is incorrect. AWS CloudFormation is used for automating the deployment of infrastructure on AWS, not for automating operations. Next question. Which AWS service or feature helps restrict the AWS service, resources, and individual API actions the users and roles in each member account can access? Now the options are: Option 1. AWS Firewall Manager. Option 2. Amazon Cognito. Option 3. AWS Shield. Option 4. AWS Organizations. And the correct answer is Option 4. AWS Organizations. Explanation. AWS Organizations offers the following policy types. Service control policies offer central control over the maximum available permissions for all of the accounts in your organization. Tag policies help you standardize tag across resources in your organization's accounts. SCPs are used to restrict access within member accounts. For instance, you can create an SCP that restricts a specific API action, such as deploying a particular Amazon EC2 instance type. The policy would then prevent anyone, including administrators, from being able to launch EC2 instances using that instance type. AWS Organizations is the correct answer. Amazon Cognito is incorrect, as this service is used for providing sign-in and sign-up services for mobile applications. AWS Shield is incorrect, as this is a security service for protecting against DDoS attacks. AWS Firewall Manager is incorrect, as this service is used for managing various security services within AWS. Next question. Where are Amazon EBS snapshots stored? Now the options are: Option 1. Within the EBS block store. Option 2. On Amazon S3. Option 3. On an Amazon EFS file system. Option 4. On an Amazon EBS instance store. And the correct answer is Option 2. On Amazon S3. Explanation. You can back up the data on your Amazon EBS volumes to Amazon S3 by taking point-in-time snapshots. Snapshots are incremental backups, which means that only the blocks on the device that have changed after your most recent snapshot are saved. On Amazon S3 is the correct answer. On an Amazon EBS instance store is incorrect. On an Amazon EFS file system is incorrect. Within the EBS block store is incorrect. Next question. You need to connect your company's on-premise network into AWS and would like to establish an AWS managed VPN service. Which of the following configuration items need to be set up on the Amazon VPC side of the connection? Now the options are: Option 1. A customer gateway. Option 2. A firewall. Option 3. A virtual private gateway. Option 4. A network address translation device. And the correct answer is Option 3. A virtual private gateway. Explanation. A virtual private gateway is the VPN concentrator on the Amazon side of the VPN connection. You create a virtual private gateway and attach it to the VPC from which you want to create the VPN connection. A virtual private gateway is the correct answer. A customer gateway is incorrect. A customer gateway is a physical device or software application on your side of the VPN connection. A network address translation device is incorrect. NAT devices and firewalls are not required for an AWS managed VPN. A firewall is incorrect. A firewall is not required for a VPN connection. Next question. Which AWS service can be used to run Docker containers? Now the options are: Option 1. AWS Fargate. Option 2. Amazon AMI. Option 3. AWS Lambda. Option 4. Amazon ECR. And the correct answer is Option 1. AWS Fargate. Explanation. AWS Fargate is a serverless compute engine for containers that works with both Amazon Elastic Container Service and Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service. Fargate makes it easy for you to focus on building your applications. Fargate removes the need to provision and manage servers, let you specify and pay for resources per application, and improves security through application isolation by design. Amazon ECS is the correct answer. AWS Lambda is incorrect. AWS Lambda is a serverless technology that lets you run code in response to events as functions. Amazon ECR is incorrect. Amazon Elastic Container Registry is a fully managed Docker container registry that makes it easy for developers to store, manage, and deploy Docker container images. Amazon AMI is incorrect. Amazon Machine Images store configuration information for Amazon EC2 instances. Next question. In which ways does AWS pricing model benefit organizations? Now the options are: Option 1. Reduce the cost of maintaining idle resources. Option 2. Reduces the people cost of application development. Option 3. Eliminates licensing cost. Option 4. Focus is spent on capital expenditure rather than operational expenditure. And the correct answer is option 1. Reduce the cost of maintaining idle resources. Explanation. Using AWS, you can provision only what you need and adjust resources automatically and elastically. This reduces the amount of resources that are sitting idle, which reduces cost. Reduce the cost of maintaining idle resources is the correct answer. Eliminates licensing cost is incorrect. AWS does not eliminate licensing cost or application development cost, as you still need to license and develop your application. Focus is spent on capital expenditure rather than operational expenditure is incorrect. AWS allows you to focus your spend on operational cost, not capital cost. Reduces the people cost of application development is incorrect, as you still need people to develop applications. Next question. Your organization has offices around the world, and some employees travel between offices. How should their account be set up? Now the options are: Option 1. Set the user account as a global account when created. Option 2. IAM is a global service. Just create the users in one place. Option 3. Enable MFA for the accounts. Option 4. Create a separate account in IAM within each region in which they will travel. And the correct answer is option 2. IAM is a global service. Just create the users in one place. Explanation. IAM is a global service, and all users that are created are able to log into the AWS Management Console from any location. IAM is a global service. Just create the users in one place is the correct answer. Create a separate account in IAM within each region in which they will travel is incorrect. You do not create separate IAM accounts in different regions, as IAM is a global service. Set the user account as a global account when created is incorrect. There is no such thing as setting the account as global. Enable MFA for the accounts is incorrect. Enabling multi-factor authentication is a good security practice, but not necessary to enable users to travel to different locations. Next question. Which AWS cloud design principles can help increase reliability? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Using monolithic architecture. Option 2. Measuring overall efficiency. Option 3. Adopting a consumption model. Option 4. Testing recovery procedures. Option 5. Automatically recovering from failure. And the correct answer is option 4. Testing recovery procedures, and option 5. Automatically recovering from failure. Explanation. Recovery procedures should always be tested ahead of any outage of disaster recovery situation. This is the only way to be sure your recovery procedures are effective. When designing system, it is also a good practice to implement automatic recovery when possible. This reduces or eliminates the operational burden and potential downtime associated with the failure of a system or application component. Testing recovery procedures is the correct answer. Automatically recovering from failure is the correct answer. Using monolithic architecture is incorrect. A monolithic architecture means you have multiple components of an application running on a single system. This results in a bigger issue if that system fails. A distributed architecture is preferred. Measuring overall efficiency is incorrect. Efficiency has more of a bearing on cost management than reliability. Adopting a consumption model is incorrect. A consumption model has benefits more aligned with cost and agility than reliability. Next question. Which of the following are examples of horizontal scaling? Select two options. Now the options are: Option 1. Add more instances as demand increases. Option 2. Add more CPU or RAM to existing instances as demand increases. Option 3. Automatic scaling using services such as AWS Auto Scaling. Option 4. Scalability is limited by maximum instance size. Option 5. Requires a restart to scale up or down. And the correct answer is option 1. Add more instances as demand increases. And option 3. automatic scaling using services such as AWS Autoscaling. Explanation. With horizontal scaling, you add more instances to a fleet of instances to service demand as it increases. This can be achieved automatically by using AWS Autoscaling to add instances in response to CloudWatch performance metrics. With vertical scaling, you are adding CPU, RAM, or storage to an existing instance. This may involve modifying the instance type, which typically requires a restart. With vertical scaling on AWS, scalability is limited by the maximum instance size. Add more instances as demand increases is the correct answer. Automatic scaling using services such as AWS Autoscaling is also a correct answer. Add more CPU or RAM to existing instances as demand increases is incorrect, as this is an example of vertical scaling. Requires a restart to scale up or down is incorrect, as horizontal scaling does not require a restart of existing instances or applications. Scalability is limited by maximum instance size is incorrect, as with horizontal scaling you add more instances. Next question. Which feature of Amazon S3 enables you to create rules to control the transfer of objects between different storage classes? Now the options are: Option 1, Object Sharing. Option 2, Versioning. Option 3, Bucket Policies. Option 4, Lifecycle Management. And the correct answer is Option 4, Lifecycle Management. Explanation. To manage your objects so that they are stored cost effectively throughout their life cycle, configure their Amazon S3 lifecycle. An S3 lifecycle configuration is a set of rules that define actions that Amazon S3 applies to a group of objects. There are two types of actions. Number 1, transition actions. Define when objects transition to another storage class. For example, you might choose to transition objects to the S3 standard IA storage class 30 days after you created them, or archive objects to the S3 Glacier storage class 1 year after creating them. Number 2, expiration actions. Define when objects expire. Amazon S3 deletes expired objects on your behalf. The lifecycle expiration cost depends on when you choose to expire objects. Lifecycle management is the correct answer. Object sharing is incorrect. Object sharing refers to the ability to make any object publicly available via a URL. Versioning is incorrect. Versioning enables you to automatically keep multiple versions of an object when enabled. Bucket policies is incorrect. Bucket policies are used for controlling access to buckets. They can't be used to move data between storage classes. Next question. A cloud practitioner is creating the business process workflows associated with an order fulfillment system. Which AWS service can assist with coordinating tasks across distributed application components? Now the options are: Option 1, Amazon SNS. Option 2, Amazon SWF. Option 3, Amazon SQS. Option 4, AWS STS. And the correct answer is Option 2, Amazon SWF. Explanation. Amazon Simple Workflow Service is a web service that makes it easy to coordinate work across distributed application components. SWF enables applications for a range of use cases, including media processing, web application backends, business process workflows, and analytics pipelines to be designed as a coordination of tasks. Amazon SWF is the correct answer. AWS STS is incorrect. AWS Security Token Service is used for requesting temporary credentials. Amazon SQS is incorrect. Amazon Simple Queue Service is a message queue used for decoupling application components. Amazon SNS is incorrect. Amazon Simple Notification Service is a web service that makes it easy to set up, operate, and send notifications from the cloud. SNS supports notifications over multiple transports including HTTP or HTTPS. email and email JSON, SQS and SMS. Next question. How can you deploy your EC2 instances so that if a single data center fails, you still have instances available? Now the options are: Option 1, across VPCs. Option 2, across regions. Option 3, across availability zones. Option 4, across subnets. And the correct answer is option 3, across availability zones. Explanation. An AZ spans one or more data centers, and each AZ is physically isolated from other AZs and connected by high-speed networking. If you want to deploy a highly available application, you should spread your instances across AZs, and they'll be resilient to the failure of a single DC. Across availability zones is the correct answer. Across regions is incorrect. You could deploy your instances across separate regions, but this is not necessary to create a highly available application and introduces complexity and cost. For example, you may need multiple ELBs, one per region, complex name resolution, and potential data transfer charges. Across subnets is incorrect. Subnets are created within AZs. Therefore, if you deploy resources into multiple subnets within an AZ and a data center fails, you may lose all of your instances. Across VPCs is incorrect. You should deploy across AZs within a VPC. Thank you for watching this video. Buy our AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner CLF C01 premium questions with 50% off. Check link in the description.